In an age when the world was burning, generals commanded with thunderous voices, with rage that echoed across the front lines. But among all those voices, there was one man whose power didn't come from shouting, but from silence. A commander who, the moment he stepped into the trenches, gave his soldiers courage, not through force, but through a stillness that felt stronger than the roar of artillery. A man who held a trembling front together with an iron calm, colder than steel and harder than time itself. He had no triumphant cry, but he had a front that breathed with him. Episode 17.3 Eduard von Bohm Ermolli, the Silent Strategist. Introduction. In this episode, we follow a commander who never sought dramatic victories, yet each extra day the front survived stood silently on his shoulders. A man who chose no theatrics, no flair, no grand gestures, only one thing: endurance at any cost. This is the story of Eduard von Bohm Ermolli, a general whose quiet resolve spoke louder than the loudest cannons. Scene 1. The Silence That Commanded. Galicia, 1914. Where mud swallows boots and every step carries the scent of danger. There is no yelling, no barked orders. Only the measured footsteps of a man whose presence alone steadies every soldier around him. Eduard von Bohm Ermolli. He does not silence fear with anger. He imposes order with silence. And every unit under his command knows, before the ground collapses, he has already calculated every inch of it. Scene 2. The Man Who Bought Time. 1915, the marshes of Galicia. The front bends. The pressure rises. But he is not chasing a quick victory. He is fighting for something far more valuable: time. Every retreat is measured. Every trench chosen for survival, not glory. While others seek a moment of brilliance, he fights so that the front lives through the next night, the next day, next week. Scene 3. Calm in the Storm. 1916. Artillery shakes the earth. Cold wind tears through faces. But in the middle of the chaos, he organizes maps with the same unbroken calm. The soldiers say, "When the general is calm, no explosion can break us." He knows that an army holding on to its commander's steadiness fights twice as long. Scene 4. The Silent Bastion. 1917. A worn-down army. The troops are fewer. The supplies are thin. War has never drained more. But still, the defensive lines stand, because he is the kind of commander who rebuilds every point that falls. If one unit collapses,
he quietly replaces it. He does not fight to shine. He fights so the army can live. Scene 5. The Strategist Without a Shout. End of the war. The guns fall silent, borders shift, and many names fade into the noise of history. But within military reports and officers' notes, one line repeats: if he had not been there, the front would have collapsed much earlier. Bohm Ermolli was not a headline hero. He was the unseen pillar that held an army upright for years. He proved that sometimes a war is not won loudly. It survives on a silence filled with resolve. Preview. Episode 17.4 Franz Rohr von Denta. A commander who tuned the front like a ruthless clockmaker. In the next episode, we meet a man whose discipline knew no boundaries, whose every decision clicked into place like a piece in a vast, precise machine. If you want to hear the story of Franz Rohr von Denta and the tactics that kept an entire line balanced on the edge of collapse, click subscribe, hit the bell, and be ready for episode 17.4.